Coming up, your weekly roundup of news from around the haunt industry. Welcome to the show. I'm Philip. On the HAN show, we bring you the haunt news, information, and education you need to prepare for Halloween. On Tuesdays, we bring you a roundup of news from haunts worldwide. Read more about these stories and so much more in our free weekly newsletter. Subscribe at the link in the show notes. And as always, for the news roundup, I'm passing it off to Daryl.
This message is from Philip Hernandez, publisher of the Haunted Attraction Network. Between Midsummer Scream and earnings week, this issue is dense. A few observations to guide you through it. Disney, Six Flags, and United Parks dropped earnings this week, and the news is positive overall for our industry, after the softness described by Universal. Disney's Experiences segment set fiscal third quarter records for both revenue and operating income. Six Flags' new leadership is successfully reorienting the company towards repeated visitation. Yes, this quarter its debt cost than its parks earned. The upcoming Halloween season, with 448 Halloween-themed experiences and 107 mazes from coast to coast, should supercharge that strategy. United Parks showed fewer guests but higher spending, and management pointing to the new Sony-licensed haunted houses and early Halloween ticket sales as opportunities for the next quarter. Break down all three calls in this week's green-tagged Insights and the Halloween bets on SES. Universal has quality reputation, but Six Flags now operates the most haunted mazes in the world. 107 added into parks that already have infrastructure and pass holders. I wrote in July that operators with permanent locations, infrastructure, and scale play by a different set of rules, and 107 mazes is what those rules produce. In Orlando, Universal has original mascots. In Hollywood, they're leaning into films, particularly independent films where they have more leeway. Art the Clown returns with a whole narrative built around him. The Terror Tram becomes every day in Artmas, framed as a twisted children's storybook with original music by Ice Nine Kills. Killceañera, the new original house, has got original score by Slash and the event's first ever singing villain. And they got Obsession into the park fast. Fans sent creative director John Murdy a video of director Curry Barker saying he loves the event, and a character encounter came together immediately. 2 weeks ago, we wrote about the IP wars, and Hollywood is running a middle path. License the indie film where you can still create, then build original on top. 13th Floor is making format moves at both of its LA flagships. Festival Fright Nights at Winchester Mystery House is evolving into an actual festival rather than a linear experience. The same shift we covered when Scared House rebuilt its season around a hangout. The LA Haunted Hayride is running its most ambitious trail upgrade in years, adding a drive-in scene choreographed by the Pussycat Dolls' Bobby Newberry and serving alcohol in Midnight Falls for the first time. Also this week, Midsummer Scream is moving to Anaheim for 2027 and reviving season screamings in Long Beach. Spirit Halloween's owner is buying Hot Topic. The real Freddy Fazbear's Pizza opens at American Dream in 2027. Diablo Mazes land at Cedar Point and King's Dominion. Six Flags Magic Mountain Fright Fest adds Final Destination, and Krispy Kreme's Fall Collection is back with pumpkin spice in tow. Here's what you need to know this week. In Halloween Horror Night news, Art the Clown takes over HHN Hollywood's Terror Tram. Art the Clown is taking over the Terror Tram at Universal Studios Hollywood's Horror Nights, Universal City, California. The Terrifier villain stars in the Christmas Gone Wrong overhaul of the attraction, which takes guests onto the Universal Studios backlot and drops them into a scare experience. When the demented killer arrives to the historic Universal backlot with his blood-soaked bag of presents, he realizes it is too early for Christmas and hijacks the tram for his own holiday celebration. Guests will walk the backlot through 7 zones: Scary Artmas, Art's Christmas Tree Farm, the 12 Slayings of Christmas, Art's Christmas Cafe, Hell for the Holidays, Santa Art is Coming to Town, and Art's Workshop, each a classic Christmas image twisted into Art's world. The cast pulls straight from the Terrifier films, with Art joined by Vicky Hayes, the Little Pale Girl, and Sienna Shaw. Original music for the attraction will be written by Ice Nine Kills, known for their horror movie theme songs. The band will put their dark twist on classic Christmas tunes. You can listen to a preview of Joy to the World rework by following the links in our show notes. For dates, tickets, and the full lineup, see the Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood 2026 guide. Slash scored HHN Hollywood's Killceañera house, and its villain sings an original song. At Universal's Midsummer Scream panel, creative director John Murdy revealed Killceañera, music by Slash, an original house that twists a traditional quinceañera into a revenge horror story built around a character named Lola. Slash, of Guns N' Roses, composed the score, which builds to an original song called 15 Candles that the house's villain, Lola, performs. Murdy framed the house around the song's message. "This house is for all the people who were ever bullied and wanted to take revenge," he said. The Spanish lyrics, he said, turn on the idea that the moment of suffering lasts a lifetime. The house is going up in the Parisian courtyard at Universal Studios Hollywood, rebuilt as the burned ruins of Lola's home, with a purpose-built balcony where Lola stands above guests as they walk underneath her to enter. HHN Hollywood adds Nikki from Curry Barker's Obsession. Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood in Universal City, California, will hide a character somewhere in the park this year, and finding her is part of the point. At Universal's Halloween Horror Nights panel at Midsummer Scream, creative director John Murdy teased a character encounter based on Obsession, the horror film written and directed by Curry Barker. Its villain, Nikki, is loose in the event without a fixed spot on the map. Murdy kept the specifics to himself. "I'm not going to give you all of the details today, but what I can tell you is Nikki is out there somewhere," he said, describing a Where's Waldo type mentality for guests trying to spot her across the park. He added that she might be looking for her next obsession. Amikuma is going chain-wide this Halloween with a Vegas stage show and new merch. Amikuma, the gut-spilling bear who started as a Universal Studios Japan Scare Zone character in 2021, will appear at every Universal Studios theme park for Halloween Horror Nights this fall, plus Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas, Nevada. While most of the appearances will be more meet and greet in nature, Universal Horror Unleashed will utilize the character in an all-new live stage show running through September and October. Halloween Horror Nights Merchandise 2026. Every item, price, and store date. Universal's Halloween Horror Nights 2026 merchandise reaches stores over 3 weeks this month, and most of it lands in the park rather than online. Universal Studios Hollywood starts August 13th. Universal Orlando's Tribute Store opens August 26th. Online store is running ahead of both, with partial assortment available now. Six Flags plans 107 haunted houses for this year's Halloween. Six Flags told investors on Thursday that it will run 448 Halloween-themed experiences and 107 haunted mazes across its park this fall. 11 of the mazes new for 2026, with 4 new horror IPs to be announced in about 2 weeks. CEO John Riley called it America's biggest Halloween party and said no one's doing anything in this kind of scope, in this kind of geographic range, and with this many attractions. The count spans every Halloween brand under the company's umbrella, including Fright Fest at the Legacy Six Flags Parks, Halloween Haunt at Dorney Park, Kings Island, Kings Dominion, and Canada's Wonderland, Knott's Scary Farm, Hollow Weekends at Cedar Point, and Scarrow Winds. Why does a park chain bet its fall on haunts? The park already runs all-day rides. The staff, the food, the service, the land, and the operating calendar are paid for whether or not October has mazes in it. Fright Fest and its sibling events layer haunted attractions onto that running infrastructure at dusk, sell the mazes through a separate haunted attractions pass on top of admission pass holders already hold, and Riley told analysts the commercial team is improving upon our Halloween event upsell experience this year. Halloween is also the company's next test of pulling pass holders across parks. It has been sending regional invitation to visit sister parks, and Riley said, "We'll do the same for Halloween." What it means for independents cuts 2 ways, and we are not sure which way it nets out. The case for a squeeze. A season pass makes another Halloween night closer to free for the family that holds one, and 107 mazes is a lot of capacity and drive a lot of markets, aimed at the same October weekends every haunt needs. Alternatively, the case for a rising tide. Six Flags will market Halloween at a scale no collection of independents can match. Demand says data that the season is stretching and the appetite is real, and cross-park pass travel could put more out-of-market visitors in haunt regions than before. Either way, the working question for an independent is value. A single attraction at a single price point now competes with an event a passholder family has effectively already paid for, so the season's work is building an experience worth the trip and saying clearly what makes it worth it. Diablo Haunted Mazes are coming to Cedar Point and King's Dominion. Six Flags is bringing Blizzard Entertainment's Diablo to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, and King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia this fall, with the maze Diablo 4, The Internal Path. Hella Weekends at Cedar Point runs September 17th through November 1st on select dates. King's Dominion has not published its Halloween haunt dates. Six Flags Magic Mountain's 2026 Fright Fest adds Final Destination and a werewolf maze. Six Flags Magic Mountain has revealed its full 2026 Fright Fest lineup, led by 2 new haunted mazes. A Final Destination maze built around the film franchise, and Wolf's Blood, designed by a creator from Not Scary Farm. This year's lineup includes 7 mazes, 7 scare zones, and plenty of undead entertainment. Final Destination, Death's Playground, drops guests into the film series where, as the park puts it, death itself is the antagonist. Guests are chased by death through the maze, and Six Flags hinted at graphic effects. Wood chippers are just not fun to look at. The maze extends the park's ongoing partnership with Warner Brothers. Wolf's Blood is original and comes from Not Scary Farm designer Gus Kruger, acting as a guest collaborator, cross-park pairing in the Southern California haunt scene. The story follows a remote town called Daylight's End, secretly home to werewolves and an underground werewolf rock band. Wolf's Blood, playing its first show at the Grand Valdonian Theater. Per the park, guests move from the town's bus stop through ransacked stores and bar rooms and past an abandoned cemetery to reach the concert. Kruger built in a record store called Rainbow Records and brought back a bar, Red's Revenge, from an attraction that stood in a building before Truth or Dare, along with the overhead jumper effect fans knew from that maze. Q2 theme park earnings and what they tell us about the consumer. Disney, Six Flags, and United Parks dropped earnings this week, and the news is overall positive for our industry after the softness described by Universal. Disney, the record. Disney's excellent Q3 earnings gave hope to an attraction industry struggling with a challenging macro environment. More guests came, they spent more, and the experiences segment set fiscal third quarter records for both revenue and operating income. Domestic attendance grew 3%, per capita spending grew 4%, and CEO Josh D'Amaro said the parks are performing significantly better than our competition. Asked about its domestic promotions, D'Amaro described discounts designed to reach a specific guest, and that could be a valued customer. Maybe we're going after a local resident, then pointing to 4% per cap growth as proof the company is certainly not discounting our way with volume growth. Reach down for volume, reach up for yield. United Parks, the squeeze. United Parks Q2 shows fewer guests coming but spending more, while costs rose faster than revenue, so profit dropped much harder than revenue did. Attendance fell 2.9% to 6.1 million guests. Revenue fell 1.4%, and net income fell 21%. In-park per capita spending rose 5.1% to a record $39.51, while admission per capita fell 1.8%. The guests who came traded up inside the gate, while the gate itself got cheaper. The company kept buying back stock, 12.1% of its shares in 6 months, and cash fell to $19 million from $99.8 million on December 31st. Six Flags, the strategy and the balance sheet. Six Flags' new leadership is successfully reorienting the company towards repeated visitation, yet this quarter its debt cost more than the parks earned. The strategy of getting more pass holders to attend more often and spend more, and thereby increasing lifetime spend, is working. Revenue and attendance were up, adjusted for the divested parks, and the upcoming Halloween season with 448 themed experiences from coast to coast should supercharge that strategy. Yet, while the parks made money, the company still posted a loss due to its debt. Running the parks cost $88.6 million of operating income, up from $74.5 million a year ago. Interest on the company's debt cost another $102 million, and the quarter landed at a $20.1 million loss before taxes. The $203 million headline loss is mostly a $157.4 million tax change and accounting catch-up tied to the park sales, not a bill. Six Flags paid $4.5 million in cash taxes in the entire first half. Same park revenue, attendance, and EBITDA all grew. Pass sales are up 7%, and the stock fell 16%. Watch Philip and Scott discuss this on this week's episode of Green Tagged. Ultimately, theme parks are betting on Halloween. Earnings week showed how much of the industry's year now rides on the season. Not Scary Farm announces retirement of 2 mazes in 2026 and Scare Zone overhaul. Not Scary Farm from Buena Park, California, announced this past weekend at their Midsummer Scream panel that 2026 will be the final year for 2 popular mazes, Origins, Curse of Calico, and the Chilling Chambers. In other attraction news, a real Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is opening at American Dream in 2027. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the restaurant at the center of the Five Nights at Freddy's game, is being built for real. American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey, announced it will open the location in 2027, developed in collaboration with Scott Games. American Dream calls it the world's first permanent immersive restaurant experience and describes it as a functional reimagining of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza designed to immerse guests in the world of the iconic franchise. Per the announcement, guests will be able to dine, play arcade games, experience animatronic stage shows featuring Freddy and the Fazbear Band, visit Foxy's Pirate Cove, and step behind the curtain for immersive multiplayer survival horror experiences. American Dream says additional details, including the official opening date and ticketing information, will be announced at a later date. No month, no pricing, and no size has been given. Queen Mary's Dark Harbor will murder one of its 13 icons live this year. Queen Mary's Dark Harbor is entering its 13th year with 13 icons, and it plans to murder one of them live in front of guests this season, keeping the victim secret until you show up. The Long Beach Haunt also revealed a new World War II maze, Shipwreck, built on the ship's real Grey Ghost troop transport history, and a new icon called the Commander. Its feast maze is retiring, the cannibal chef gets locked up in breakout cell block 13, and the returning mazes all get new chapters. Dark Harbor runs select nights September 18th through November 1st. LA Haunted Hayrides adds an 80s rock maze and brings back Elvira. The Los Angeles Haunted Hayride is adding a new maze that turned guests into a doomed 1980s rock band, bringing back Elvira and serving alcohol in its haunted town of Midnight Falls for the first time. 13th Floor Entertainment Group detailed the 2026 season at its Midsummer Scream panel, where producer Melissa Carbone called this year's Hayride Trail its most ambitious in years. The Los Angeles Haunted Hayride runs select nights from September 8th through November 1st at Griffith Park. Festival Fright Nights at Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. Select nights September 18th through November 1st. Festival Fright Nights brings the entire estate to life through 4 immersive zones featuring 13 attractions and experiences, including haunted houses inside the historic mansion, eerie entertainment, photo ops, seasonal food and drink offerings, and mysterious encounters hidden through the grounds. This year's Festival Fright Nights at Winchester Mystery House will feature a new open festival format, allowing guests to explore the experience at their own pace and create a personalized journey. Exciting new additions include the new attraction titled The House of Spirits, a new add-on attraction Hide and Seek, The Lost Children, which takes guests into rarely seen areas of the mansion, a new cider mill experience, and a s'mores roasting station, the Seance Society Speakeasy. A new cast of characters will appear, including Sarah Winchester's royal butler, his son Henry Harker, Nina Nightshade, who tends to the gardens and greenhouses, and the Collector, who patrols the darkest corners, dragging a heavy bag of unknown contents. Magic of the Jack-O-Lanterns at Palos Verdes Estates, California. Magic of the Jack-O-Lanterns will return to the South Coast Botanic Gardens select nights September 18th through November 1st. New for 2026, Pillars of Magic will greet guests as they make their way to the signature path of the illuminated carved pumpkins. Delusion, Den of the Mosquito in Los Angeles, California. Returning to its original venue, the Beckett Mansion, on select nights September 17th through November 8th, Delusion, Den of Mosquito takes guests to 1920s New Orleans. Set in a brothel, guests play agents of a secret organization on an impossible task, become part of a sadistic and supernatural tale of horror, mystery, mobsters, monsters, and of course, Vampire Prostitutes. Billed as Delusion's longest and most interactive play to date, the event will revert to its classic format of 10 guests every 10 minutes, fostering deeper emotional connections with characters and creating a more intimate experience. Nightmare Wharf now hiring for the 2026 season. The Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military Park and Nightmare Wharf, Buffalo, New York, are seeking energetic, dependable individuals to join the team behind Buffalo's premier immersive Halloween event. Open seasonal positions include scare actor, queue line performers, makeup artists, ticket takers, and event ambassadors. Taking place at the Buffalo Naval Park this fall, Nightmare Wharf will transform the historic waterfront campus into a large-scale Halloween experiences featuring haunted attractions, themed environments, live entertainment, dramatic lighting, dense fog, and high-impact scares. We are looking for performers, artists, and event staff who want to help us create an unforgettable experience from the ground up. Season Zortica, Director of Creative Event Operations and Production for Nightmare Wharf. Whether someone has years of performance experience or is stepping into a world for the first time, we want enthusiastic people who are ready to become part of something entirely new for Buffalo. To learn more or apply, visit the event's official website. The Halloween season is almost upon us, and haunts around the country are announcing their dates, new additions, social events, and more. To help you manage the myriad of updates, the Haunted Attraction Network has compiled comprehensive guides to the top haunts in the U.S. and top theme park events around the world. Bookmark these important pages for reference and check back often for updates as new information is released. New this week, Cedar Point Hollow Weekends 2026. Dates, tickets, and what's been announced so far. Previously, Spirit Halloween Locations 2026 guide, every store state by state. Netherworld Haunted House, dates, tickets, and what to know before you go. When do haunted houses open in 2026? The best and scariest haunted houses in America, the top haunts list. Halloween Horror Nights 2026, dates, tickets, and lineups for every park. Disney Halloween 2026, every park worldwide. Fright Fest 2026, the complete guide to Six Flags Halloween event at every park. Hallow Scream 2026, the complete guide to all 5 United Parks locations. Orlando Halloween events at every park, party, and haunt. Halloween Time at Disneyland 2026, the complete guide. Haunted Houses in California 2026, dates, tickets, and what's new. Halloween Horror Nights 2026, hours, costume policy, and know before you go. Haunted Houses in Texas, dates, tickets, and what's new. Halloween Horror Nights Tickets 2026, a complete guide to all Universal parks. In retail news, Spirit Halloween's owner is buying Hot Topic, Box Lunch, and Her Universe. Spencer Spirit Holdings, the company behind Spirit Halloween, has signed a definitive agreement to buy Hot Topic Inc. and its 3 brands, Hot Topic, Box Lunch, and Her Universe. The deal was announced August 6th and would put 6 retail brands in more than 3,000 North America stores under one owner. Spencer Spirit already owns Spirit Halloween, Spencer's, and Spirit Christmas. As per the announcement, the 3 Hot Topic brands will continue to operate independently from the Spencer Spirit business and maintain their existing headquarters in California. Steve Rains stays on as CEO of Hot Topic Inc., a job he has held for over 10 years, overseeing the 3 brands' day-to-day operations alongside his executive team. He will report to Spencer Spirit CEO Steven Silverstein. How much is the Freddy Fazbear animatronic? $499 in stores, up to $3,800 on eBay. The Freddy Fazbear animatronic costs $499 at Spirit Halloween, and the Spirit Halloween is the only place to buy one. Spirit Halloween's $449.99 Alien Xenomorph animatronic is out of stock online. Spirit Halloween's 6'8" Alien Xenomorph animatronic costs $449 and cannot be ordered from the website. Completed eBay sales over the first week of August show it moving at roughly twice Spirit's $449.99. Tractor Supply's 2026 Halloween collection, Ghost Cows, 6-foot skeleton roosters, animated deviled eggs, and other farm-inspired items headline Tractor Supply's 2026 Halloween collection. This year's Halloween Out Here collection is the company's largest collection and is hitting stores earlier than ever. The full Halloween catalog runs to more than 700 items, and the farm theme holds all the way down. Build-A-Bear 2026's Halloween collection. Build-A-Bear's 2026 Halloween collection, dubbed Spooky Stuff Your Love, is live, and the star is a jumping spider plush. A fuzzy brown spider with 8 legs and 4 big black eyes. The plush starts at $36 or $44 as a gift set with Keep On Creepin' On spiderweb tee. The Monster cereals are now blown glass ornaments, boxes and all. The Monster cereals made it to the Halloween tree. Old World Christmas, the Spokane, Washington ornament maker hand-blowing glass since 1979, is selling Blueberry, Count Chocula, and Frankenberry as glass ornaments at $27.99 each, and each character comes 2 ways: a monster itself or its cereal box. That makes 6 cereal ornaments in all. The character version's mascot mid-pose with the cereal bowl in hand, hand-painted and glittered, and per Old World Christmas, each piece is hand-blown into a hand-carved mold and hand-painted using techniques from the 1800s. MNSSHP 2026. All 17 food items and the party-exclusive merch. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in Orlando, Florida, has opened on Friday, August 7th with 8 of its 38 dates already sold out. The official foodie guide names 17 new food and drink items across 11 Magic Kingdom locations, and the party-exclusive merchandise line has been revealed. From sweet treats like Headless Horseman treats, pumpkin pie tarts topped with whipped cheesecake, spiced caramel panna cotta, candied pecans, and the marshmallow buttercream flames, the savory eats, including dune buggy dumplings, chicken dumplings with red miso gochujang sauce, furikake, and chili threads. This year's culinary options are diverse and delectable. Disneyland's 2026 Halloween food first look. Disney Parks has posted a first look video previewing the 2026 Halloween food and drinks coming to Disneyland Resorts in Anaheim, California, and it reveals 5 items across Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure. On the sweet side, guests can look forward to matcha Mickey-shaped waffles, ube cheesecake churro, and the brown butter maple cold brew. On the savory side, prepare for villainous wings with gochujang sauce and a drizzle of ghost pepper ranch, and the bulgogi beef toasted with corn cheese soup. Halloween time at Disney Resort runs August 21st through October 31st of 2026. Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar Halloween overlay returns to Disney Springs with a new menu. Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar, the Indiana Jones-themed bar at Disney Springs in Lake Buena Vista, Florida, brings its Halloween overlay back August 11th through November 9th, with a new food and drink menu in the same 1940s kitsch decor that dressed the bar last year. Hatbox Ghost Popcorn Buckets lands on both coasts, with a Headless Horseman for the party. Haunted Mansion's Hatbox Ghost is becoming a popcorn bucket on both coasts. At Disneyland Resort, the launch date is August 13th, D23 Day, a fan club celebration with limited run novelties across the resort. At Disney World, the bucket along with a new Headless Horseman bucket will be exclusive to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party starting August 7th, as reported by the WDW News. Universal Studio Japan's first Resident Evil popcorn bucket is a back-worn liquor. A popcorn bucket shaped as a liquor goes on sale at Universal Studios Japan in Wednesday, September 9th, and the official product photo shows it mounted on 2 shoulder straps and hanging down the wearer's back, brain exposed and tongue trailing towards the floor. Starbucks brings back the pumpkin spice latte August 25th. Fall officially arrives at Starbucks around the country on Tuesday, August 25th, with the return of the pumpkin spice latte. Alongside it come 3 new pumpkin spice beverages, returning pecan drinks, 2 banana bread-inspired lattes, and an entirely new drink called the Chider, described by Starbucks as a cozy twist on chai for fall, delivering cider-inspired flavors including cinnamon and sweet spice. Krispy Kreme's Fall 2026 collection brings back pumpkin spice and adds 3 new treats. Krispy Kreme's autumnal seasonal collection returns August 11th. Pumpkin spice returns, joined by 3 new flavors: a maple cheesecake donut, a cafe mocha donut, and an apple crisp latte. The Biscoff cookie butter donut and pumpkin spice latte are back too. The collection is available for a limited time at participating shops nationwide, in-shop, and for pickup and delivery through Krispy Kreme's app and website, and individually and by the dozen while supplies last. Gideon's Bakehouse goes all in on peanut butter for its August menu. Gideon's Bakehouse in Orlando, Florida went all in on peanut butter for August. The new peanut butter cold brew cookie, $6.50, is nearly half a pound and packed with chopped Reese's cups, Reese's Pieces, and locally roasted decaf espresso to cut the sweetness. There's a $98 matching 3-layer cake, a returning orange mocha cold brew, and a weekend-only Oreo cookie too. New apple cider donut holes lead Entenmann's and Little Bites Fall 2026 lineup. Entenmann's and Little Bites brought back their fall and Halloween treats for 2026, and the lineup has one new item. Entenmann's Apple Cider Donut Holes. The Apple Cider Donut Holes come in a 13-ounce bag for a suggested retail of $5.69. The pop bubble version of Entenmann's Apple Cider Donut, these are sized for a bag you pass around rather than a single donut. Enjoy these shareable treats and morning coffee during weekends, fall outings, or following a trip to the apple orchard. The donut holes are at most major grocery retailers nationwide from August through November. Oreo ghosts have been spotted, and they are not cookies. Oreo ghosts have started turning up in the Halloween aisles, and the thing worth knowing before you go looking is that they are not ghost-shaped Oreos. They are molded dark chocolate ghosts filled with Oreo cream and cookie pieces, sold in a bag of individually wrapped singles. In convention news, Midsummer Scream moves to Anaheim for 2027. Midsummer Scream, billed as the world's largest Halloween and horror convention, is leaving its longtime Long Beach home. The event will move to the Anaheim Convention Center in Anaheim, California for next year's events, taking place on August 6th through 8th. 2027. Organizers said the larger venue gives the event more room for its growing community of fans, haunters, vendors, artists, and celebrities. The convention is called the Long Beach Convention Center home since its 2016 debut, when it drew about 8,000 people in its first year. This past weekend's event drew over 50,000 attendees across the event, with more than 350 vendors on the floor. The Hall of Shadows, the convention's main attraction area, spanned nearly 2 indoor acres with attractions from Lionsgate Studio, Universal Studios Horror Unleashed, and independent creators. Season Screamings returns December 4th through 5th, 2027. From the minds behind Midsummer Scream, Season Screamings will return with Holiday Horror December 4th and 5th, 2027 at the Long Beach Convention Center, Long Beach, California. The revived show will feature the Hall of Yuletide, spirits, spooky vendors, and other surprises. Haunters Against Hate, the event, returns July 31st through August 1st of 2027. Save the dates. Haunters Against Hate, the event, returns to the Radisson Kalamazoo in Kalamazoo, Michigan, July 31st through August 1st of 2027. Halloween and Party Expo 2027 opens registration. The events are stirring in the Big Easy. Registration is now open for the Halloween and Party Expo 2027, taking place January 11th through 13th at the Ernest N. Memorial Convention Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Halloween and Party Expo describes itself as the retailer's one-stop shopping destination for all things Halloween and party, with the floor covering costumes, accessories, makeup, novelties, and party supplies. It is co-organized by Clarion Events and the Halloween and Costume Association, a trade group that also runs the Spooky Awards. The event has returned to New Orleans after the 2026 edition ran at the Expo at World Market Center in Las Vegas. Hershey Report. Halloween now spans a third of the year, and anticipation is the product. Hershey has released its Unwrapping Halloween State of the Season report, built on a morning consult survey of 3,026 U.S. adults fielded July 8th through 10th, and its central claim puts a number on what this season has looked like from every direction. Halloween has evolved into a season spanning a third of the year rather than a single day. The report says the consumer research and Hershey's own shipment data tell the same story. Halloween has become a season, not a single night. Hershey has a name for the economy we've been describing all year, treatonomics, a consumer trend in which people prioritize joyful, memorable experiences and generosity over simply chasing the lowest price. Guests are still spending on Halloween, but they're looking for memorable experiences to connect to, even if it costs a little more. Value matters. The report's tradition section carries the header Traditions, Not Nostalgia, and puts the mechanism plainly. The candy people grew up with is becoming the candy they pass down. That mechanism is the nostalgia trend, and it's the same generational memory engine behind Michael's Building 6 nostalgia-themed decor collections, and the vintage decor wave we have covered all season. What Hershey's framing usually separates is the behavior from the feeling. Nostalgia is the sentiment, and the tradition is what happens when that sentiment gets scheduled, repeated, and handed to your kids. For an attraction or a retailer, traditions book themselves every year. Nostalgia has to be resold. Guests aren't buying the past, they're buying the thing they do every year, and your haunt can be that thing. In memorial. The haunt industry mourns the loss of Randy Bates. Randy Bates, longtime owner of the Bates Motel and Haunted Hayride in Glen Mills, Pennsylvania, has passed away at age 68 following a battle with cancer. In an August 8th social media post, the Haunted Attraction Association detailed many of his additional contributions to the haunt industry. In 1997, he helped found the International Association of Haunted Attractions, IAHA, as a board member. In 2023, he helped found America Haunts, a group of the largest haunted attractions around the country. In 2007, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania began requiring haunted house owners to take a safety course, pass an inspector's test he was asked to help write, and put together seminars to specific haunted attractions. In 2010, Randy was a member of the Haunted House Association, HHA, and helped form the merger of the IAHA and HHA into what became the Haunted Attraction Association, the HAA, in 2011. As an experienced hayride operator, Randy and other Pennsylvania operators developed the hayride safety standards, which went into effect in 2020. His peers has described his dedication and passion, as well as how quickly he offered to help anyone that asked for advice. Randy is survived by his wife, his 6 children, and more than 20 grandchildren. We at the Haunted Attractions Network send our condolences to his family and friends during this difficult time. Some upcoming events in August through October of 2026, September 11th through 13th, Creep It Real OC Expo in Santa Ana, California.
And that's all for the news this week. Today's episode was produced by me, Philip Hernandez, with reporting by Daryl Plunkey, post-production by David Swope. This Haunt News Update is a production of the Haunted Attraction Network, and you can sign up to our weekly newsletter at hauntedattractionnetwork.com. Support for this episode comes from Gantom Lighting and Controls. Until next time, haunters, stay scary.
This is a Haunted Attraction Network production.